This is a Southern Sin breaking news special. Be sure to like and subscribe now.
At Southern Sin bombshell, tonight. The teen found dead on a Carnival Cruise ship has been ruled a homicide.
The FBI and medical examiner have yet to confirm the details in the investigation into Anna Kepner's death, but a bombshell report just came down that is claiming to know how this girl died on a Carnival Cruise ship, and it points to this being a murder investigation. Now, this is the video per WSVN in Miami from November 8th when Kepner's body was taken off of the Carnival cruise ship named the Horizon. This video was shot by reporter Sheldon Fox. Kepner, again, just 18 years old, was a high school senior, a varsity cheerleader from Titusville, Florida, which is about 3 hours north of Miami. Kepner was on the cruise ship that launched out of Miami. It was a 6-day cruise with her dad, stepmom, and 2 of her stepmom's biological children, a 9-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son. And there is a lot of attention now on that 16-year-old because he reportedly shared a stateroom with Anna Kepner. It is being alleged that he was obsessed with his stepsister. Now, here is the timeline that's been laid out of the alleged final days of Kepner's life. So let's go to November 6th, and this was one of the last days on this cruise. Kepner wasn't feeling well, and the Daily Mail says that she was at dinner with her family, and she told her family that she was just gonna go back to her room. Now that brings us to November 7th, the next day. Kepner's family, they got together for breakfast, and Anna didn't show up. It was around 11 o'clock that morning that the Daily Mail says a maid entered Anna's stateroom and made a horrifying discovery. Kepner's body was allegedly found wrapped in a blanket, covered with life jackets, and stuffed under a bed. Now, people aboard the ship say around that time they heard an alert about a medical emergency on deck 8, and people who were staying in staterooms near Kepner's were told that they would need to leave those rooms earlier than originally planned the next day, which is when the ship returned to port. Kepner's body, once back on land, was sent to the medical examiner in Miami on November 8th. Now, it is alleged that Kepner died as the cruise was making its way from Mexico back to South Florida. Now, it is interesting that the medical examiner listed Kepner's death at a very specific time, 11:17 in the morning on November 7th. So that is the day before the ship returns to Miami. The FBI is investigating this case. They have not said much more other than that publicly, but a bombshell report just came down from ABC News citing a source that says that Kepner was allegedly suffocated to death. ABC says that she was put in a, quote, bar hold where an arm is put across her neck. There were reportedly 2 bruises on the side of her neck. ABC is also saying that preliminary investigation does not show any signs of sexual assault, and there are also no signs of drugs or alcohol in her system. All of this is according to ABC News. Now, as far as a suspect, a lot of signs are allegedly pointing to her 16-year-old stepbrother, who she reportedly shared a room with on this cruise.
It's our understanding that because the cruise was in international waters, that the young child, not the 9-year-old, but the 16-year-old was allowed to drink.
This is video per News 6 in Orlando of a custody hearing involving Kepner's stepmom. Her name's Chantel Hudson. She is married to Anna's biological dad. Now, Chantel has been going through custody proceedings with her ex-husband for more than a year, according to court records that we've reviewed. On Thursday, she, her ex, and their attorneys appeared in court in a virtual hearing. And in that hearing, her ex's attorney said, quote, "The older child, who is approximately 16 years of age, is a suspect in the death of the stepchild." Now, that is the first time that the word suspect has been used in this case. Earlier this week, Chantel filed an emergency motion for continuance of hearing on petitioner's motion for contempt and enforcement. In plain terms, she wanted to delay a hearing in this custody case that was scheduled for December 17th. And this case has nothing to do with Anna Kepner's death, at least now directly. This case has been going on for more than a year, but now the death of Anna Kepner, the potential involvement of one of the stepchildren in this case, has brought all of this to the light. Now, the document says the respondent has been advised through discussions with FBI investigators and her attorneys that a criminal case may be initiated against one of the minor children of this instant action. Chantel wanted to push back the hearing because of what the motion describes, quote, as an extremely sensitive and severe circumstance that has arisen. And Hudson would not be able to testify at that hearing, according to this motion. The document claims that she might have to plead the fifth. Now, it goes on to say, quote, currently there is an investigation being conducted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation arising out of the sudden death of 18-year-old Anna Kepner, who was found deceased on November 9th, 2025 on a Carnival Cruise. Miss Anna Kepner, the deceased, is the daughter of the respondent's paramour, and the respondent and the minor children of this instant action were all on the cruise ship together, end quote. We do want to note that the document lists that she was found deceased on November 9th because the ship returned to port and Kepner's body was taken to the medical examiner's office on the 8th. We do believe that that is a typo. In the court hearing this week, we saw the attorney for Chantel's ex-husband make some allegations related to what happened on board the ship. The attorney says the 16-year-old stepbrother reportedly was sharing a room with Anna Kepner, and he says that because the ship was in international waters, the 16-year-old boy was allowed to drink alcohol. Now, Chantel's attorney pushed back on that and said that there is surveillance video that shows the stepbrother did not drink on board the ship. And the attorney also said that DCF investigated the case and saw there was no alcohol. Now, we did look up Carnival Cruise Line's rules when it comes to alcohol and minors.
visa holder, she had legal permission to remain in the United States for 90 As a K-1 visa holder, she had legal permission to remain in the United States for 90 days before marriage. Until that deadline, she was neither a spouse nor a resident. Her immigration status was tied exclusively to Michael's and to Mary. As the weeks passed, Anjali's contact with her family decreased. What had once been regular video calls became irregular text messages. Her parents in Goa began to express concern, especially when she missed important festivals and family occasions without explanation. Attempts to reach her directly were unsuccessful. Michael would sometimes respond instead, assuring them that she was busy or resting. On the 74th day after her arrival in the United States, Anjali vanished. The date fell just under 2 weeks before the deadline to solemnize the marriage under the terms of her visa. Michael informed a neighbor that she had left the house after an argument. Later, when questioned by local authorities, he stated that Anjali had run away, and he had no knowledge of her whereabouts. He claimed she was emotionally unstable and may have left voluntarily to clear her mind. It was her father in Goa who first raised the alarm. After multiple unanswered messages and 2 weeks without any contact from his daughter, he contacted the Indian Embassy in Washington, D.C., which advised him to file a formal missing person report with the local police in Michigan. That report, routed to proper diplomatic and law enforcement channels, triggered the initial outreach by authorities to Michael Reeves. Initial police response treated it as a possible voluntary disappearance. Michael presented himself as cooperative. He stated there had no physical altercation, no threats, and no signs of struggle. He allowed investigators limited access to the house, but maintained she had taken some of her belongings and simply left. However, when authorities contacted her family, they confirmed they had not received any message from her, not even a brief call or forwarded email. The lack of communication raised immediate red flags. Anjali had no known contact in the U.S., no income, and no transportation of her own. Her visa status was pending marriage, and her legal presence in the country was under scrutiny. The idea that she had independently disappeared without a trace and without informing her family conflicted with her known habits and personality.
True crime just got darker. Catch the full episode on the link above. Subscribe to At Southern Sin today and hit the notification bell for more live original episodes Wednesdays at 8 p.m.